Morning.
It is.
I had a very clear intention to be sitting here.
Obvious.
Yes. Been looking at purpose lately, and I've been listening to CDs, and I get that, knowing the rules of the game make the game more fun.
And that's the purpose. Fun. You're done.
I am.
Is that shocking? That it's for the joy, for the fun, for the exhilaration of life? Is that shocking? Esther noticed something the other day. They travel. They are rarely at home. They are almost always in their bus on their way to something wonderful like this. And Jerry just has project after project that he just cannot wait to dig into. And for a long while, as Esther learned to play with Jerry, she did everything in her power to help him get his project accomplished and off his desk. She carried a notebook around. She'd wait for him to suggest something. She'd write it down, and she would move heaven and earth to achieve it. She got rid of that notebook years ago because she discovered that he does not want an ending to his projects. His goal isn't to get his work done because he likes doing his work that brings him joy. And it was a shocking revelation to Esther that she'd never known anyone who did what he does because he likes doing it, and then because he likes doing it continues to do what he does. It was a whole new concept to her because Esther always did what she had to do. It started with cleaning the house when she was a little girl. There were certain things that had to be done, especially when she went to her cousin's house. Her cousin, who she always wanted to play with, had a very taskmaster mother, and they were not allowed to go play together until a certain number of things were done. And 90% of every Saturday was spent doing the work before the play could begin. And then you go to work. Most everybody talks about their off time, their work time, and it gives you a sort of distorted view. And we're wanting you to understand that when you get it in your vibrational craw, that everything is for the joy of it, and you decide that if you can't find joy in it, you will not spend time in it. But that doesn't mean that you will stop doing everything. It means that the things that you are doing, you will look for the joy and the fun within them. Once you start lining up with that, you'll line up with Source, and you will have clarity and empowerment and stamina and vigor and life flowing through you in a whole new way. And then you can do anything you want to do. There are endless subjects that you can apply that collective consciousness to, you see. Nothing's fun if you're not tuned in, tapped in, turned on. If you're not lined up with energy first, everything you do is hard. But if you look for the fun first, if you look for the joy first, so you're tuned in, tapped in, turned on, now whatever you turn your attention to will be life-giving, you see. That was good, wasn't it? So now what?
Well, the part of me that's resisting it thinks there should be more.
More what? More purpose? So let's say that you're living some life and an idea of something occurs to you softly. But like most people, instead of thinking about it and why you want it and trying to imagine it, most of you think about where you are in relationship to it. So you sort of contradict the energy. So you don't really let it get flowing. So it doesn't gather any momentum. So when you want it but, you don't get any momentum going, and then you begin feeling sort of stagnant. And it's sort of like the stream's beginning to flow, but you're not going with it, and the stream's beginning to flow and you're not going with it. And that's that feeling of like, I need more purpose. I wish I could find something that I could turn my attention to. And we're not kidding you. If you could just talk about what you want, no matter how mundane or insignificant it seems in comparison with other things you have going on, or that you see going on around you, if you could talk about why you want that a little more and stay focused upon it a little more, you'd gain a little momentum that would call you still further. Don't be hard on yourself. In other words, you are where you are, and we think we've convinced you that the stream is flowing a little bit, and that's what we spent the last several minutes wanting to do anyway. And so we're talking about this stream flowing, and first thing, you sit down and you say, but don't I need purpose? As if we hadn't been talking for the last several minutes about this stream that is flowing, which we want you to understand is your purpose. We think sometimes what happens to humans is that you are so upstream oriented that you can't find a downstream purpose. Downstream purposes look too frivolous. I need an upstream purpose. I need a cause. I need something important, something that I could write a book about. Nothing you want's upstream and everything that you want's downstream. Really, it is.
Well, in all the work I've done, every time I look at purpose, I always come back to, a state of beingness, just, loving, learning, growing, and then
well, if you
it's
keep
like,
coming up with the right answer, why are you probing further?
okay, so here it is. I'm sitting here because I need confirmation that I'm on the right track.
Well, the fact that you need confirmation means you're a little off track.
I got it. I get that.
When you understand that you're looking for that sensation of joy, what you're actually saying is, I get it, that my guidance is what I'm reaching for. And when you look outside of that feeling for confirmation, now you're asking the peanut gallery, and we are even including ourselves in the peanut gallery. You're asking something outside of you to confirm the rightness or the wrongness of your direction. And everything that we're about is wanting to turn you inward to that awareness of that feeling. We think that you don't understand the swiftness of the current, and sometimes without committing to, you sort of dangle your feet in, and if you and the current sort of gives you that uncomfortable sensation where if you would just let go, the current would take you, and we promise you, you won't drown. The current will take you to the places that you want to be. As you're flowing, you'll start recognizing more and more of the things that you've been asking for. If you could get a bird's eye view into your vibrational escrow, we could not even find words to describe the magnificent things that you've created. And we think you're trying too hard to micromanage it, and that's why we think the best question that has ever been asked of us, you ask when you first sat down, what is my ultimate purpose? That's what we heard you say, and that's why our answer, flippant as it may have sounded to so many of you, is the ultimate answer that you must reach for. The purpose of your life must be for the joy of it, for the fun of it, for the exhilaration of it. And when you're willing to turn just for those reasons, then this stream will take you to all of those very meaningful, purposeful things that your life has helped you carve out. In other words, there's much that's going to be not only magical, but meaningful for you. People will watch you in the creation that is before you, and they will not call you a frivolous creator. When we say fun, we're not sending you to clown school. We're not we're not talking about frivolous things. We're talking about it's fun and joyful to do those meaningful things. But when you're fixated on meaningful things for which you have no conscious awareness of when or who or how it's going to unfold, then you get yourself in contradiction to your own energy. You got to relax. You got to give yourself a break.
Right.
Good time for a segment of refreshment.
Perfect.
We are complete.